I've talked about this a lot in the media when it comes to like conservatives and Democrats, that there's like two different standards of rules that the different sides play by, and it's like an unwinnable media environment, which I'm kind of used to, I guess, dealing with myself. Although it's more annoying being like out of the drama circles, but still getting dragged back into it because of vulture communities and shit. There's no real way to like counter this. So I just have to like, I guess, like make people aware of it, to call it out. And because it triggers the other side when I bring it up, although they'll insist that it doesn't, but that's part of their narrative. One of the kind of annoying, realities, I guess, that exists right now is that I don't know how many people are aware of it. I usually try not to talk about this website because the people here are unwell. But there's a website called Kiwi Farms that generally is supposed to just be like we talk about or obsess over people that we deem worthy of obsession. Generally, they're not supposed to interfere too much with them. That used to be the old rules, but for my life, I guess, Kiwi Farms has decided that they're like a full activist. Like, we're going to do every possible thing that we can to fuck with this person and all the people around them, because that's just what they do. Or at least in my thread, that's what they do. So ordinarily, it doesn't matter that much. These are obviously unwell people, probably most of them living on like disability or something, stuck in their homes, don't really have anything to do besides watching streams all day. But the frustrating thing, Clipchimp? No. Kiwi Farms is not Clipchimp. They have whole worlds of theories of like stuff that they will write, like, and opine on somebody, like pages and pages of theories of like psychoanalysis and everything. It's, just imagine what like Zoe does in Gisticle's Discord times like 1 million people all on a thread, except also like half the people are the same person on different accounts talking to themselves because they like to do that, I guess. But the annoying thing is that every other community, I guess, has decided that they're going to now just do like straight readings from or straight borrowing of content from Kiwi Farms. So like, for instance, that Ryan Beard video was basically just him reading through my Kiwi Farms thread, even though in other worlds, these people will be like, oh, they make trans people kill themselves, blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of an irritating and odd world where there's basically like a militant activist anti-Destiny group that already exists on top of the frustrating world where, since I don't map on cleanly to any political ideology, all the little political groups don't really like me either, which is fine. I don't care. But to have like Kiwi Farms to be like a doxing, swatting central that all these other content creators, so all the commentary community people, all of the lefties, all of everybody else has no problem, and Gisticle and his server like borrowing from, is just very, very, very fucking annoying. But I mean, like, all you can do is deal with it. But like, regardless of I'm not going to run through like this whole thread because people are fucking insane, but just as an example of what I'm talking about, right? So Tom tweeted out something that had to do with asking a critical question of the other side that's been attacking me recently. And like, just for asking that question, like people on Kiwi Farms are like, has this guy ever been doxxed before? Genuine question. I know nothing about this guy. I know that he's Gisticle's lolcow, but I've always found him so boring. I've never seen any of his dramas. Like, if you even say something polite about me, there are people on this thread who will, and they say, they're open about it. They're like, this guy's near Destiny, I'm going to dox this guy. And they'll go through, and these people are like, again, probably living on disability, so they can sit there and can consume like dozens of hours of content over a week, and they will try to piece together like every single thing in your life. Ordinarily, Kiwi Farms is Kiwi Farms. It is what it is. You can't really do anything about anti-fan communities like that. Although I do see that Joshua finally privated my revenge porn that's hosted on there. Thank you. I'm glad that enough people bringing attention to your site finally encourage you to do that. So good job. But it's also the reason why like you'll see a lot of moral outrage from people like that who will say, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever." Meanwhile, they're like, every other post is like, "Where is that revenge porn at that I want to fucking download and jerk off to?" Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, somebody said this, like, there's a whole bunch of talking points. Again, I don't like to talk about this community too much because you give them attention, they thrive off of it. But there's a lot of talking points that like originate on there, and then you'll hear other people repeat it, and I instantly know like Gisticle gets a lot of info about me from Kiwi Farms. Or Ryan Beard in his video has like videos that are like watermarked by Kiwi Farms. So people just go there, they get all the information, and then through that they're basically explicitly supporting like all of the doxing and swatting and everything that comes from Kiwi Farms, and then they go and they make mainstream videos about it. And then I'm like here, like if I call somebody, like fat, I'm getting like canceled by my own community for it. I don't know what to do about that. There's nothing really I can do about that. I have I guess now, so for instance, a logistical server, a server that is the origination of a lot of sexual abuse, a lot of revenge porn, a lot of rapey people, a lot of like creepy, weird, like horrible people. That if you ask Justical at some points in history, he will agree with, and then at other points in history, he won't, depending on what's convenient for him at the moment. Have decided now that I guess Kelly has decided that she wants to start targeting and harassing my girlfriend by calling her a whore or a cheap whore for a cheap fat streamer, or whatever other stuff. I don't know why. I don't know how that's the new thing, but just when you're seeing stuff like this, there's always be aware that like the goal is always isolation. It's isolation and narrative control when it comes to Kiwi Farms. So if they spam a certain narrative enough and then they link, and trust me, you can go through these threads and they're linking every single Reddit thread, like post here, post here, post here, post here, post here. So it's narrative control, and then it's how many people around this person can we harass, or can we dox or SWAT or whatever. And like, that's just the goal for all of it. It's pretty cringe. It's pretty gross. I expect the behavior from Kiwi Farms. It is what it is. Like I said, communities like that will always exist, but it's really gross when people like Gisticle, whose information I hope I can find soon, are like trying to amplify or put a magnifying glass on info over there and then have it spread into the other world. That's just wild to me, but you know, it is what it is. There's also a weird schism in r/lonerbox where a lot of those KF points get repeated for some reason. The goal is always like, I guess if you want to be schizophrenic, it's like, gang stalking, unironically though. The goal is to just like find the separation points and then to just lean into those and push as hard as possible. So if there's something negative involving me in Lonerbox, then they'll focus on that. But you'll notice that like as soon as people kind of like drift out of my orbit, then they don't bother them anymore. So the goal is always like, if you say anything nice or not unhinged about me, then they'll go crazy on you. So like Willie Mack has been the target for a while. Tom was a target because of that tweet. Gisticle used to be a target, but now he's cool because he's like an anti-fan. And that's just how that place works. So yeah. How do you see this ending? I mean, the way they usually is you just keep streaming, you keep on trudging along, and then usually they get bored and they fuck off. That's all you could ever do. But anything you can tell us about the actual legal part? So many people saying different things about what needs to be proven in court for you to be held liable. I can't really talk about. I shouldn't talk about like the actual claims at stake, other than like it's all bullshit. I've watched a lot of. There was some guy. What's his name? I don't know. There was some guy in a suit who's been doing things. Most of the legal analysis is just really, really, really bad. I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is about lawyers. It's like worse than like people that call themselves like soft. Like I'm a full stack dev. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean full stack dev? And it's like, well, I made a website once and on WordPress, and I know how to get information out of a database sometimes. Okay, very full stack. Like just the most random shit. The lawyer people are the same thing. Some of the commentary is so bad. Like it's actual, the legal mindset guy. Yeah. I don't know if these guys just don't do criminal law or if it's just lawyers in general are fucking retarded. I mean, they are some of the worst people that I've seen. They are some of the worst people that I've seen on the internet, just in terms of like general knowledge. Like the answer, the real answer is that when you graduate school, you just won't remember everything from school, which is fair. Like if you graduate, or I should say tort, I shouldn't say criminal. Well, no, because some of these things are supposedly criminal. When you graduate school, you don't remember every single individual thing from school, which is fine. But for some reason, every lawyer pretends that they do. Like, oh yeah, like I can give you the full breakdown on this. And it's like, what do you do for work? And it's like nothing even remotely related for decades on any of it. Yeah. Are you cooked? I'm already cooked. I am as done like weeks ago. I'm as done as I'm going to get. Like, that's it. Like, that's everything else now is just annoying shit to deal with. But apparently that's not true. Because if you ask all the lawyer people, apparently the FBI and the DOJ is about to come down on me and bring some crazy shit, I guess. Trump himself, the attorney general herself is going to come and arrest me, I guess. Yeah. The lawyer Chet had on suggests you had no legal team at all. On what basis? What is he even a American lawyer or? Wait, link me. Now I'm curious. YouTube drama is basically Kiwi Farms and Left Right Flash. Yeah, basically YouTube drama. It's just like a ton of like Zoomer socialist, commie, tanky, weird shit. Yeah. What do you mean by cooked? What can actually happen? The worst has happened. Like it's all the stupid just everything. Wait, I'm curious for a link for this chud lawyer guy.
No, it's funny because we learned Destiny.
We're in full report mode regarding Justical and Smelly Jean. Listen, if you see people breaking rules on other Discord servers, you should absolutely report the fuck out of it, of course. I want to make Discord a better place. Wait, I'm just curious where he makes that claim. I mean, like, I can't watch most of this because he's going to say crazy shit, and I probably can't. I don't want to comment on, like, claims specific to my, to the whatever bullshit is going to last forever, dumb. What am I looking for?
Pacer filings, because that's the federal court stuff. I'll send you a link. I don't know if you've ever used it before. You can find the federal court thing where everything that gets put, it's all done electronically. So the day it happens, it's up. We'll see if an attorney enters an appearance because he's got 21 days to respond from the 18th. In between that time, if he retains counsel, they'll enter their appearances. So we'll know if he's got a legal team. We'll know what's going on. But right now, I'm assuming he's probably full of shit. I don't think he's got a legal team because I just can't imagine it at this point.
I mean, maybe that sounds insane. I mean,
like, why couldn't we imagine that? What is his rationale for this?
I don't know.
He wouldn't be the first guy. I mean, to be fair, when Pixie said I'm going to get legal counsel, I thought, don't talk about it, be about it. Everybody says they're going to sue somebody, and clients are like, oh my god, they said they're going to sue me. I'm like, nothing you can do until they do it. So right now, until they do it, they're just talking shit, and then some.
Is he not a real lawyer, or that's, I don't know if that's not true that there's nothing you can do until somebody files a complaint against you. What a stupid fucking thing to say. Okay.
Sometimes they do, and then a lot of times they don't. And I kind of thought, honestly, I thought Pixie was going to pull a Keffels and just off into the wind with the money. Like, oh yeah, I guess I'll sue him, I'll get to it. And that never happened either. So, I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are expecting. I think that's what Destiny was hoping. And Pixie decided to, do what she thought was right, and I'm glad she did it. Because I can only imagine if there's 15 that have come forward, how many more are out there? How many more don't even realize it happened to them?
That number is, by the way, not even remotely close to what people think it is saying, but okay.
There's actually another clue to your little theory here, and that is that at one point Destiny says something like his legal team or lawyers didn't expect Pixie to file a lawsuit. I mean, is that a reasonable expectation from like a legal perspective, do you think, or was that a bit short-sighted, naive?
I don't think it's wrong to think that that's impossible. But yeah, you're kind of stuck though. Until it happens, they said they're going to sue me. I mean, it's very much, you get out, you have to wait till they launch the attack. So there's a lot of times where it's just don't make things worse. And then if they attack you, then we'll respond. But there's not a whole lot you can do till she starts, loosening arrows at you. Which, I mean, ultimately that's really just the nature of it. It's, she gets to throw the first punch.
Sure. Okay. This is something that Mario kind of briefly mentioned, because I actually spoke. Mario helped me out tremendously with something previously in regards to the DMCA thing, which I'm very appreciative of.
Yeah.
But he sort of alluded to there maybe being some sort of free speech aspect, like the First Amendment thing. And I'm wondering, is that an interference with some of these statutes that are governing this revenge porn stuff, or?
So the federal statute and the state statute, they pretty much mirror each other. There could be some First Amendment concerns there, but for Destiny, let's wipe those off the map, because there's 5 counts. We'll get rid of count 1 and count 2 of the complaint. Fine. He intentionally inflicted emotional distress on a woman. He violated her privacy. And what's the 5th one? Just
as a quick thing, anybody that is even uttering anything having to do with revenge porn related to me has absolutely no idea what, they don't know anything about what the elements are of any of the underlying crimes that they're alleging. They don't know what, malicious intent means. There's also 2 other terms if you're bored. Things called proximate harm and foreseeability are also, these people are just fucking clueless. Oh God, I can't. Listening to retards talk about my legal cases is one of the most frustrating things. Holy shit, it's actually so retarded. I'm good. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Do I really want to watch this shit? I feel like I'm just gonna get triggered.
Because Destiny really was. He was grooming these women. He was trying to get them into to his thing. And you bring him into his circle, and he woos them, and then
all of this stuff. These are all just Kiwi Farms narratives that just get perpetuated infinitely. It's just the most cringy. It's not I have to be in these people's eyes. I have to be a serial rapist, Harvey, whatever. There has to be some way to explain something, because either they feel like I should be a virgin, or they're sad that their viewership sucks, or they're sad that nobody, vibes on their content. There has to be some reason. There's got to be something to explain. It's that's the one we're going with.
Oh, I have this power and I have this access, and it all, like you said, there's a system to him doing this. It's a pattern. But he's not the first guy to ever do this with women. or whatever relationship people are in. It's not a brand new thing to him. So,
well, listen,
again,
I don't know how long you feel myself. This is difficult for me. I used to be a Destiny Orbiter back in the day. Okay, so this is very tough for me.
Well, I know a long time ago, but like I said, I really respect how watching you over time. So.
One thing I will never make the mistake of ever again, and this includes basically every single streamer friend in my life, that I will never ever go out of my way to provide charity for any of these people. Because I remember when like Chud Logic was getting dogpiled on some what were at the time like bullshit allegations or whatever. I think I was because I'm one of the only people who will come out if somebody's actually getting dogpiled and be like, this is some bullshit. And I came out for Chud. Never ever again will I waste my time doing anything like that. It's so, oh my God, it's so gross and crazy.
Because the thing is, when you say grooming, I have a resistance to that, and I have to think, okay, is this just some sort of latent DGG defense mode kicking in? But I think, I guess the thing is for me, is I always categorize grooming as in regards to more so children. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite a strong word. But I think I can see what you mean. It's like there's a system at play, bringing people in, they come on stream, there's a sexual...
How is KF able to exist when it only exists to mass harass people? I mean, there's nothing illegal about harassing people. There's nothing really even illegal about doxing people, so...
relationship.
We can say it. He Harvey Weinstein.
Didn't Destiny also cut off Chud because he wouldn't fire his editor? No. What? The issue that I had with Chud, also, I never cut anybody off. Sometimes I just won't do content with people anymore. But the issue that I have with Chud Logic is that Chud Logic hosts the Kiwi Farms equivalent of on Discord, which is Spicy Chat, which is basically another group of people that are obsessed with me and talk about my shit way too much. But it's just like a crazy, it's like a Kiwi Farms light, except it exists on Discord. And that's like a community that Chud Logic hosts that I didn't want like any closeness to. So I created, I think, a little bit of space. I didn't ever want to talk to DK. I don't think I cut Chud Logic off because of DK. I don't remember, but Chud might have cut me off because of DK, but
these women basically, we brought him in and tried to do we all know apparently the consent issue is a consent issue for Destiny. He has consent accidents apparently. If everything Pixie says is right, like it looks like there's an issue with him not understanding you can't do this. But he does. He uses his power. He uses his prestige. And I know you're not this, but people. Vosh would love this because Destiny's using...
I like how there's never, ever, 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 ever been a shred of evidence ever pointing this out in any way, size, shape, or form. But it's always like the predominant narrative, largely because Kiwi Farms pushes it, and everybody that hates me loves to slurp it up, but like...
using his power in a position of power, and it's all about power and who controls the power. And this is really one of them. And sure, he sweet-talked these women. It's like, oh, I love you. You're great. You're cool. I'm just a silly little gooner. And he used all of that and then took advantage of it. I mean, this, manipulating women like this, he's not the first guy to do this.
No, sure. Just on a side note, with your own perspective on this, are there like debates where you've had like very fractious disagreements with Destiny that like people might try and point to say, well, you're biased against Destiny, you hate the guy?
I've never been on with Destiny, so.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of things we disagree about fundamentally on a political level and maybe philosophical level, but, I mean, like, I'm sure he likes drinking water. I like drinking water. He likes oxygen. I like oxygen. I'm assuming he likes cats and dogs. I like cats and dogs. So there's some common ground.
Sure, and this is something that I've tried to wrangle my head around as a fucking layman. But it's like, this idea of you can't talk about something, right, to me seems absurd on the face of it because celebrities will always deny wrongdoing. If
you're unaware, this attorney has a KF account and is active in your thread. Oh, what's his name on Kiwi Farms? I probably read stupid posts by him before because there was a lot of stupid legal analysis in the Kiwi Farms threads as well. I just assumed it was all non-lawyer people. But again, lawyers can be retards, so.
Idea of you can't talk about something, right, to me seems absurd on the face of it because celebrities will always deny wrongdoing if they're accused of something. I feel I've tried to wrangle my head around as a fucking layman. But it's like, this idea of you can't talk about something, right, to me seems absurd on the face of it because celebrities will always deny wrongdoing if they're accused of something, I feel like, without question. Neil Gaiman did it and other examples.
So I already explained this. I don't know if this video went up before or after, but I mean, if you've seen now my statement on everything, now you understand where that came from. Because for me to talk about it means that it's going to be really brutal for the person on the other side of this lawsuit. And it would be nice to avoid that and give them more space to make a statement. But obviously that is not possible because that other person decided that they would rather me do the other things. It's like, okay, well, fuck it then, I guess. But that was the reason why. The more that you attack the other side prior to any kind of stuff being filed, then the less maneuverability both sides have before any actual complaint is filed. He's not going to say that over here. He's going to say, oh, if he's innocent,
like, what is the story there? And how does it fit into how Destiny's claimed that himself?
What do you mean as far as Destiny not talking about something?
Well, okay, so just a little bit more. So Destiny has said, at points, I can't talk about this because it could negatively impact my legal case, but seemingly has spoken about it repeatedly.
Yes.
People keep saying this, spoken about it repeatedly. The question is not speaking anything about anything whatsoever. It's making specific claims about the actual claims of the lawsuit. Like, I'll say shit like, oh, I think these people are being greedy or whatever. Like, oh, I thought you couldn't talk about it. But no. That's not addressing the specific claim. Like, a lawsuit isn't just like, how bad of a guy is this guy? Okay, he's super bad. And now anytime he says anything, it's going to make him even worse. No, it has to do related to like particular causes of action that are going to be, if it ever gets this far, which who knows, like...
And I'm guessing,
as an attorney,
yeah, go on.
I mean, any attorney worth his salt is going to tell you, you better have lips like a statue. Do not talk about this. And Destiny's done, if I was Destiny's attorney, I'd be like, you got the Trump stuff, run yourself ragged over Trump, just keep ignoring it. Do not talk about it. It's the best answer for him. But he can't. He's already talked about it a ton as the situation has unfolded. But yes, from here on out, he should really shut up and not talk about it anymore. Talking about it will not help him. He's not going to talk his way out of it. All he's going to do is make it worse.
It's... Why? Okay. I don't know why I'm going over this. Let's say theoretically, let's say that I sue somebody for, let's say that I find a white person and I get my black friend to sue that person and I'm going to say, hey, I want you to accuse him of calling you the N-word 450 times while raping your whole family, okay? Go ahead and sue him, right? That process could take 1 to 3 years, depending upon everything from start to finish. If the person's cap, theoretically, for damages on some particular action is really low, or if it's not, if on the merits of the case doesn't seem very likely to succeed, the idea that like as a famous person, now if you're not a famous person, if you're just an ordinary person, then yeah, you generally don't say anything. But as a famous person who stands more to lose from the bad publicity than from anything a court could do, there are reasons why you might make a statement, which should be incredibly obvious if you know anything at all about dealing with celebrities or tort.
And at best, it has no effect, but that's going to be really, like, that's the best case scenario. The more likely scenario is he's not going to help himself, and the more you talk, those are now more things that her attorneys, they get the download, they can hold on to, and Destiny tries to go, I never said that, play. And then this is what you just said, and now he's going to have to explain that. So that's why you don't talk about it. The more you talk, the more, our job is to figure out how to use your words against you, if we can.
Sure. Can you just explain the discrepancy? Because you're saying that a legal person will say, don't speak on this. But then, like say, Neil
These don't even seem to be good faith attempts to disagree with you. No, it's just like another character assassination arc. This is what everybody does. Whatever, anything to...
Statement. Releases a statement and says, I've never done anything non-consensually. So how does that spin out?
I'm sure he probably cleared that through PR and the legal team.
Right.
But he's also not online, or he's not in the media all the time. Like, he's not talking all the time like Destiny. Talks 5-6 hours a day, every day. And, if it's a limited thing, that's sometimes, but even then, a lot of attorneys will say, sorry, we're not saying nothing. Sometimes that's a better idea. But, for somebody like him, PR might be involved, and they might have their own ideas, but there's no guarantee that's the right answer either. I mean, I've never had to deal with somebody that big, but I always tell my clients, like, just shut up. You gain nothing by talking.
Oh, hey, good job. You've never dealt with any large clients before. Then that's fine. Then why opine on this?
The people who believe you are going to believe you. The people who don't believe you aren't going to read that statement and go, oh, well, he said he didn't do it. I guess he didn't do it. No, that's never going to convince anyone.
Sure. So from your perspective then, as a legal expert, you would say that it's unlikely that the legal team are going to be satisfied or happy with how he's talking about this.
I mean, I'm sure they probably, that's assuming he has a legal team. I mean, what does he have? Who knows? That's the big thing there. He says he's talking to his team. I mean, are you really? Like, that's the other issue. Because I can't imagine any attorney who's watching this and saying, oh, this is good. Because watching him talk about this is terrifying if I'm trying to defend him.
That's interesting, actually, because there's one point in his recent, like yesterday's stream when he spoke about this a bit more. And I think he said something like, I've gone with a more aggressive legal team. Like, does that mean anything to you?
I mean, he may have tried to get some attorneys who are like hard chargers and fire breathers. But we'll go online to the PACER filings, because that's the federal court stuff. I'll send you a link. I don't know if you've ever used it before. You can find the federal court thing where everything that gets put, it's all done electronically. So the day it happens, it's up. We'll see if an attorney enters an appearance, because he's got 21 days to respond from the 18th. In between that time, if he retains counsel, they'll enter their appearances. So we'll know if he's got a legal team. We'll know what's going on. But right now, I'm assuming he's probably full of shit. I don't think he's got a legal team, because I just can't imagine it at this point.
I mean,
maybe
that sounds insane. I mean, but I don't know.
He wouldn't be the first guy. I mean, to be fair, when Pixie said I'm going to get legal counsel, I thought, don't talk about it.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say, a lot of these guys are, fuck. No, I don't want to sound like an elitist. What's the term, penny lawyer or whatever? Lawyers are like restaurants. If you go into a restaurant and somebody hands you a menu and they have like 700 different items to choose from, none of them are probably going to be that good. If you go to a restaurant and you want a really good restaurant, they probably specialize on a certain type of food. it might be the case that you're at one restaurant that specializes in steak, and then you want really, really, really good sushi. You probably wouldn't go to the same steakhouse and see what they have on the sushi menu. You'd probably go to a place that specializes in sushi, unless you're going to IHOP or Denny's or something.